Hi, I'm Aeon. This is a video. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be teaching you how to beat extreme demons, or how I go about learning and beating extreme demons. This is not a definitive way to do it, but I get a lot of questions. Yo, Aeon, how do you go about learning? How do you go about practicing extreme demons to be able to beat them? And that's what I thought I was going to be doing today. Torsion by Raivolt is the next extreme demon that I'm going to be doing before I go and turn and beat Sunset Sandstorm, which is going to be a task and a half. But I wanted to beat this, and I'm going to be teaching you guys how I go about learning as well as beating the level. First and foremost, initially, I just do one practice run, just to like get stuff out of the way, right? I just do a practice run, see how I feel about the level, whether or not I think it's going to be a level that I'll enjoy or not, and then I go about from there. So I've done my initial practice run. Let's hop into this and I will go about what I do next. After my initial practice run, the thing that I try and do is I try to go through the level systematically so that I try to pass every single section and see which sections give me trouble. By trying to pass individual sections, I can like pinpoint which part of the levels that I find difficult, and then after that, after I find those spots, I start practicing the parts that I find the most difficult, because practicing the parts that are the most difficult means that you will have those out of the way, which means you can get consistent more quickly, or at least I find it that way. So what we're going to be doing now is I'm going to be going through this. I'm going to be going through Torsion one more time. I had my initial practice run yesterday, so I don't really know a lot to go about this level, and I'm going to be trying to see which parts give me some trouble. So now I've passed the first cube. I'm just going to try and see if I can get some okay runs with this ship part. So it's, as it seems, the ship part is not going to be like a big hurdle for me, because ship is obviously one of my better game modes. So let's try and go through this UFO. I feel about the UFO. It doesn't feel like it's going to be too hard so far. A couple neat, finicky timings. Nothing too bad, gotta remember. So basically what I do is right now I'm going through my secondary practice run, as I said, and I'm just going to be trying to figure out what parts are going to give me trouble. Finding those parts that are going to give you trouble is going to save you a lot of hassle in the end, because those are going to be the parts that you practice the most so that you get them down. And practicing them from the very beginning is always smart. Now, let's try and go through the wave. Wave is generally, for me at least, the parts that give me the most trouble. So a lot of the time I will spend a good portion and a good chunk of my secondary practice run just trying to do the waves, because wave parts do a lot of the time give me a fair amount of trouble. So I just sit here for a while and I try to go through it. If I find a particular spot kills me all the time, so for instance, if this portal just keeps killing me, I'll put a start position like up here, like right before, so I go one down and then click, so I can practice just specifically that. But it all depends on the part itself. As for this part, it seems like not more or less everything kills me, but I can definitely see some spots giving me more trouble than the others. I'm having trouble with this one. Was because I'm lining myself up with this wall and there's a cogwheel. But hey, so yeah, for wave parts, which I am aware are the parts that I struggle with the most, I just do this, where I just go through them, try and do that, try and get through it at least one time, just so I can have like a general understanding of how the part flows. If the part is rather long, such as for instance in 9 Circus levels, I just go through sections. I cut them up into sections myself, and I figure out which section I find the most comfortable with, and then I try to practice those individually before I splice them together. Okay, so this ball part is pretty straightforward, it seems like. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a part that's going to give me too much trouble. So there's going to be like just a straightforward get through this part kind of situation, where I just need to get through it initially. What it seems like is that there are sets of fake spikes in certain areas of this level, so just have to keep those in mind. Ooh, that's kind of hard. Robots are also parts that I generally like to practice a fair amount, just because robot parts tend to be rather hard, honestly. Robot parts in extremes especially just seem to be difficult a lot of the time. It's primarily because there's a lot of micro clicks, which everyone fucking loves, right? Everyone loves a good micro click or two. So, okay, so I've been going through the level, and I think I found what I think is going to be the hardest part of the level, which is around the 60s. This wave right here is giving me a lot of trouble. So I'm already mentally noting that this is going to be the part that I'm going to start my practice with. So once I get into my third practice run, or copyables, whether you prefer copyables or not, this is going to be the part that I'm going to start practicing the most, because this is the part that is giving me the most trouble as of now. So this is going to be like my first area to cover in terms of like what parts to practice and properly get down. Okay, so this part right here is what I like to call like a fake difficulty. in the sense that I am struggling with this part right now, but it has nothing to do with the fact that the part is difficult itself. It has to do with the fact that I can't get the rhythm down. So there's a click like at the very end here before this yellow portal that is a little bit offbeat from the rest of the things. So this part isn't hard. I'm struggling with it right now, but not because it's actually hard, but because I'm just offbeat. So you don't necessarily have to note these as like difficult spots, but if there are some parts that are like, you're just sitting there like, why am I having trouble with this? It might just be because you're sitting there with like a weird start position or just a weird rhythm to your hand, because your hand will automatically try and click in rhythms. So I'm having a hard time with it now, but that doesn't mean I'm going to have a hard time with it later. So I'm not going to have a mental note on this part as like a difficult part. I'm just going to be keeping it in mind that it might be a little bit weird to get down the complete or like the perfect rhythm for it, or like the perfect muscle memory for it, because I'm always a little bit late on that last click. Okay, so I've gotten through my secondary practice run. There's gonna be a lot of attempts in this one because I do try to get like through the level properly and learn the level a little bit properly. What I'm gonna be doing now is I'm gonna be hopping into practice mode again, go to the parts that I noted myself as the most difficult, practice those, and then just move my way forward to the very end of the level, and then move my way backwards, try to get good runs in. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing now. I wanna hop in again. I'm gonna be learning it a little bit from the hardest part for me. Then once I feel like I have that like decently down, I'm gonna go to the end of the level, try and start getting runs in, and then yeah. So now the plan is to hop in again and do that. I'll see you at the part that I've struggled with. Oh, that was beautiful. That was first attempt as well. Holy crap, that was insane. Okay, so I have arrived at the hard part at 56%. This wave is going to take me a little bit of time to get used to. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go to the very front of the wave. I'm going to put a start position. I'm going to practice the end of the wave until perfection, until I can do it most attempts. And then after that, I'm going to go a little bit further back. I'm going to try and connect the runs. So right now, I'm just going to get to the second half of the wave normally, just in one run like this. And then as I get a start position that I'm happy with, I will make myself just basically just brute force myself to learn the wave properly. So it's just a matter of just grinding it out until you can do it kind of thing. This game is mainly all about muscle memory. So grinding out until you have the muscle memory that you need is basically all you gotta do. Okay, now I have my start position. Now I can just start practicing this part of the wave until I feel like I can do it properly. And by that, I mean repeating the same deaths over and over again until I have muscle memory for it, essentially. That's basically all that this is. Hardcore grinding out this part until I feel confident with it, basically. Okay, now I'm feeling pretty decently confident with the part. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to go back here, and I'm gonna try and practice it with the entrance to it from a different part. That way, I can also test how I'm feeling about the level or the part just in general. So I'm just gonna go back a little bit, a couple start positions only. And then I'm just gonna practice it from here. That way I get like a better feel for how it flows into or from the part before it. Okay, there we go. Managed to pass it from that part. And yeah, now I'm just going to continue on learning the level. Then we're going to start moving our way backwards, just learning all the individual parts. And yeah, just see how things progress and how I do. Okay. I did the entire ending. I've done a lot of decent runs, and I think, honestly, genuinely, that is basically all you have to do. Now I've done this enough to where I feel confident enough with the level, like, generally speaking, to where I can say that I've learned the level. Now all you have to do is basically just build consistency as you would with any other level. Now we could just start from zero again, practice, get consistent with the parts, then start going from zero, and you're ready to go and trying to beat the level. It took me about 1,341 attempts to learn the level. Not too much. It's a pretty easy Extreme Demon overall, but now I feel confident enough to try and practice and get some good runs going, and then beat the level. Just to like swiftly go through, you do the initial practice run to just see how the level is, see if you want to try it. Then you go through a second practice run, figure out what parts you find difficult. Don't write them down, but just like make a mental note of what you think is hard in the level, what you want to do and what you want to work on. Then after you've done that, what you want to do is you want to go in, practice those parts specifically. If it's in practice mode or in copyables, that's for you to decide. Get consistent with those, cut them up into pieces, whatever you want to do. Then practice it from where like a part before, so you can get in the transition and get like a feel for the transition into that part. After that, once you're done, start making runs from the very end of the level, work your way back so that you're consistent with the ending, so that you preferably don't die a lot to the end, like I have a tendency to do a lot. Anyway, I think that's a good methodology for how to beat extreme demons. That's what I use, that's what has been working for me. So yeah, anyway, roll the completion or whatever, I don't know. Are you fucking joking with me? Are you actually fucking joking with me, dude? There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way I just did that. Oh my god. There is no way I just lived that. What the fuck? Holy shit. Oh my god. That is the greatest save in Geometry Dash history. What the fuck? Oh my god. Holy shit, dude. Holy shit, dude. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Oh, my heart is raising. My heart is raising so hard.